Ever wondered how to customize your very own phone case? Make sure to stick around until the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and give this video a big thumbs up. Now join us as we take a look at 10 hot glue gun life hacks for crafting. Non-slip clothes hanger. We've all been there. You get home after a long day of hanging out with friends, and all you want to do is hang up your clothes and sit down to watch your favorite television show. You take off your coat, grab a hanger, and try to hang it up. Then what happens? That coat just slips right off onto the floor. So frustrating. Well, if you've ever experienced this headache, we've got just the solution for you. Way out there in the deep interwebs, some genius has figured out a way to use a hot glue gun to make completely non-slip clothes hangers. Hallelujah. You'd be surprised how incredibly simple these things are to make at home. All you need is clothes hangers, a hot glue gun, and some glue. To get started, make sure the glue is nice and hot. From there, grab your favorite clothes hanger and grip it firmly at one end. Moving slowly, trace a wiggle of hot glue down one side of the hanger, where the shoulder of your coat would sit. Once the glue on the first side is dried, repeat the same procedure on the other side. Once the entire hanger is dried, the project is complete. From there, you're free to hang up shirts, dresses, and even vests without worrying about them constantly slipping off. We gotta give it up to whoever came up with this one. Vintage wax seals. Before the modern stamp became widely used, personalized wax stamps were all the rage. It's exciting to imagine many of the famous writers throughout history sealing up a letter with hot wax, waiting for it to cool, and then shipping it off to whoever it was addressed to. Can't you just see Thomas Jefferson pouring the wax and anxiously waiting for it to be ready to send? Thanks to one crafty person, anyone with a hot glue gun and some crayons can now enjoy this timeless tradition in their own home. The method for making these wax stamps could not be simpler. The first thing you have to do is write someone a letter. It could be anyone. Maybe you could send a letter to your mom thanking her for your last birthday present, or send one to your sibling to tell them you love them. No matter who you write the letter to, once that step is done, you are ready to move on to creating a wicked seal. To get started, gather your favorite color crayons and peel off all their paper wrappings. Hot tip alert, it's smart to have a dedicated hot glue gun just for crayons, as things can definitely get a little messy. Once the crayons are unwrapped, slowly feed one into the hot glue gun and wait for it to melt. Once it's melted, squeeze out a small dollop onto the back of your envelope and wait for it to cool. Once it's cooled, you're good to go. Awesome vase designs. When springtime comes and all the prettiest flowers are in bloom, it's almost impossible to resist picking a few and bringing them home. Go ahead and pick some. It's not a crime. Grab some ranunculus or some amaranth and bring them home with you. And when you do, you have to make sure you have an awesome vase to do those flowers justice. The good news is that you don't have to go out and buy some super expensive vase to have a nice container for your new floral friends. In fact, all you need is a nice looking glass, a hot glue gun, and some glue. To get started, insert the glue stick into the glue gun and give it a moment to melt. Once the glue is all hot and ready, you can begin to make your awesome vase design. It's helpful to do this with a friend, but it's definitely possible to do on your own, too. Holding your container in one hand and the glue gun in the other, start making thin lines around the outside of the glass. We like to start at the bottom of the glass and spiral upwards, but feel free to experiment and see what works for you. Once you've spiraled your way around the outside of the entire glass, make sure to let it cool in a safe place. Once the glue is dried, you've got yourself a beautiful container for your pretty flowers. No-so teepee. When you're having a sleepover with friends or just hanging out around the house, there's nothing better than having a cool place to chill. With this in mind, one DIY blog came up with a pretty inventive way to make the perfect teepee to impress guests. As a little heads up, this crafting project is probably better suited for people with a little bit of experience, as the process is a little involved. The materials, however, are readily available and very easy to find. To make your teepee, begin by finding several wooden poles, your favorite fabric, twine, and a loaded hot glue gun. Next, bundle all the wooden poles at one end and secure them together with twine. Make sure you tie it tight. Once all the poles are together, you're ready to start designing the outside of the teepee with your favorite fabric. This is your chance to personalize your hangout spot, so don't be afraid to get creative. Once you've selected your cloths, begin wrapping them around the wooden frame of your teepee, securing it often using your hot glue gun. The cloth should run along the entire structure, but don't forget to leave a little opening to get inside. Once you've added all the fabric, you're ready to invite some friends over and put that teepee to good use. Colorful wintertime snowflakes. Everyone has their own personal favorite wintertime activity. Some people like to listen to jazz and enjoy a nice cup of hot chocolate, while others would prefer to get out and shred the slopes on their snowboard. No matter what your preference, when the cold winter months roll around, the chilly weather brings with it a perfect excuse to start a new crafting project. And what better way to bring in the snowy months than with some colorful and homemade snowflake decorations? This project is almost too simple, and the only materials you need to get started are parchment paper, a hot glue gun, glue, and and nail polish. The first step in making these incredible snowflakes is to lay out a nice sheet of parchment paper to work on. Once the glue has melted inside of the gun, you can begin to trace your shapes. Start with the long lines of the snowflake first, making 6 equal lines that join together at the center. From there, you can start to add those small little details that make each snowflake their own work of art. For the easiest route, trace 3 little lines on each end of the 6 main lines to form a neat leaf-like pattern. Once your snowflakes have dried, peel them off of the parchment paper and paint both sides with your favorite nail polish. Talk about the perfect winter activity. Office chair makeover. Office chairs can sometimes be pretty boring, or even downright ugly. It makes sense that these rolling seats would be run-of-the-mill, since most people are just sitting in them to use the computer. But if you're spending so much time sitting in it, why not personalize your chair and make it extra cool? And even when you've already got a cool office chair, sometimes the fabric eventually needs to be replaced. Well, no matter what the case, if you're looking to update your office chair, we've got just the life hack for you. To begin, all you'll need is an office chair, your favorite fabric, a pair of scissors, and a loaded hot glue gun. Start by carefully removing the fabric currently on the chair, which can usually be done by removing whatever frame is holding it in place. Next, lay the old fabric over the new one and cut out the new cloth to the same size. Once you've got your new fabric all cut and ready, simply place it on the chair and tuck the excess into the back. Now it's time to tackle the seat of the chair. Once you've unscrewed the seat and cut the new fabric down to size, you're ready to grab your hot glue gun. Stretch your new fabric over the seat and then fold and fasten the leftover cloth to the bottom of the seat with hot glue. Once the hot glue has set, reassemble all the pieces and just watch how jealous everyone is. DIY welcome sign. When you're going someplace you haven't been before, it's easy to get lost. We've all been there. You head to a friend's neighborhood, and when you get there, you just can't tell which house is theirs. Tough luck. Well, worry no more, because one incredible DIY blog has come up with the perfect solution. If you never want your friends to get lost again, you've got to make your own personalized welcome sign. Beyond making your house easier to find, nothing says hello and a very warm welcome like a homemade welcome sign made with true love and care. Although you'll need to purchase a few special materials, the method for making these signs is as simple as pie. To get started, make sure you've got a few gold melting sticks, a piece of wood, a glue gun, and parchment paper or a silicone mat to draw your designs on. Next, load your melting sticks into your glue gun and allow them to melt completely. While they're melting, you can start thinking about what message you want to write on your sign. Something as simple as "Hello and welcome to my house" works great, but you could also do something more elaborate, or maybe even an inside joke. No matter what you're going to write, the next step is to trace the words onto your parchment paper or silicone mat. Once your words have cooked, adhere them to your piece of wood using the same glue you wrote with. Make sure you put it somewhere that your friends can see. Homemade earrings. There's not many things cooler than having a ton of friends, but having a lot of friends comes with its own burden. Having to buy different presents for constant birthday parties. With that in mind, we've found the perfect low-cost present that will save you cash and occupy your time. Can you say homemade earrings? We sure can, and you won't believe how straightforward these special little things are to make. The first step is to gather all of your materials. A hot glue gun loaded with glue, gold spray paint, a silicone mat, acrylic paint, and the hooks for your earrings. With your silicone mat laid out in front of you, the next step is to start creating your pattern. We suggest a circular pattern, which you can make by squeezing several dots of glue side by side in a round shape on your mat. Once the dots have cooled completely, grab your favorite acrylic paint and carefully color each dot with it. Once the paint dries, carefully flip the circles over and spray the backside with your gold spray paint. While the spray paint is drying, grab your earring hooks and make sure your hot glue gun is full of hot glue. Next, carefully glue your hooks to the gold side of your earring design and allow to cool completely. Wrap these little gems up in some nice paper and get ready to blow your friend's mind with an incredible gift. Non-slip shoes. Have you ever been walking down the street, minding your own business, when all of a sudden you slip and drop all the fruit you were carrying? Oh brother, there is nothing worse than wasting a bunch of fresh and delicious products. Well, if you've ever been in this situation before, you'll be absolutely delighted to know that we found an amazing solution. That's right, one top-notch blog has created the ultimate life hack to turn slippery shoes into non-slip shoes. This crafting project could not be any easier, and all you need to get started is a pair of shoes, a hot glue gun, and glue. A quick pro tip for all you sleepyheads out there, this trick works super well with the around-the-house slippers. Once you've got your shoes ready and your hot glue gun loaded and heated with glue, the first step is to simply flip the shoes upside down so the bottom of the shoe is facing towards you. Next, it's important to take a few minutes to think about the design you want to use on the bottom of the shoe. Almost any design would do, even squiggles and straight lines, but this is also a great opportunity to show your creativity. You could use the glue to draw a picture of your favorite pet, or you could even write your name. Once you've got your design, squeeze it out on the bottom of each shoe and allow the glue to cool completely. From there, you're ready to move about the world without having to constantly worry about having an embarrassing slip. customized phone case. Nowadays, it seems like everyone has their very own smartphone. In fast food restaurants and coffee shops around the world, it's not uncommon to see even young children swiping left and right, and even taking selfies with their friends. With so many phones in the world, it's easy to feel like your smartphone is getting lost in the crowd. And with the limited number of smartphone cases out there, it's pretty common to accidentally mistake your own phone for somebody else's. Worry no longer, because we've got the ultimate hot glue gun life hack to solve this problem. Before you begin, it might be a good idea to think a little bit about how you want to represent your personality through your custom phone case. Do you like food? Well, maybe you can find little bejeweled bananas to glue to your case. Or if sports are your thing, look for some awesome football or hockey shapes to use. No matter what you choose, the only things you need to get started are a phone case, small objects that represent your personality, and a hot glue gun filled with hot glue. Before you dive into gluing anything on permanently, it's smart to lay out the objects on your case, just to get a feel for what kind of design you want to use. Once you've made up your mind, simply glue all of your objects onto the outside of your phone case and wait for them to dry. Once everything is completely dry, you've got yourself an incredible, personalized phone case.